Wow, does anyone else feel like no matter how hard you try, your home always ends up cluttered and chaotic? I used to spend hours tidying up only to see things pile up again the next day. It was exhausting and frustrating. Living in a small apartment, I realized that without smart organization, even the coziest space can feel overwhelming. In today's video, I want to share my favorite tips and practical tricks for keeping your home tidy, organized, and beautiful without spending all day cleaning. From clever storage solutions to creating habits that actually stick, these strategies make daily life smoother and more enjoyable. I've personally applied every tip I'll show you using multifunctional furniture drop zones, underbed storage, and more, and it has completely transformed my home. Not only is it cleaner and more functional, but I've saved so much time, reduced stress, and created a space that feels calm, welcoming, and happy. So stay tuned because I'll guide you through these simple yet effective ways to organize your home for real life. Don't forget to subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of my practical cleaning and organizing tips. You're going to love how much easier it makes everyday life. As someone who truly enjoys keeping a home tidy, I've learned that using multifunctional furniture is an absolute game changer. It's not just about having a beautiful space, it's about making life easier for yourself. I remember when I first moved into my small apartment, I struggled with clutter everywhere. Every surface seemed to be holding something I didn't have a proper place for, and it made the whole space feel chaotic. That's when I discovered the magic of furniture with built-in storage. Items like coffee tables with hidden compartments, benches that lift up to reveal storage ottomans that double as seating, or beds with drawers underneath can completely transform how you manage your space. I've stored everything from remote controls and books to candles and small household items in these clever compartments. The best part, it keeps these things within reach while hiding the mess from view, so your home always feels organized without you needing to constantly tidy up. What I love about multifunctional furniture is that it does double duty. Not only does it provide hidden storage, but it also gives you extra seating or a surface for decor, which is especially useful when you have guests. I often use my storage bench by the entryway. It's a perfect place to sit while putting on shoes, and also stores scarves, gloves, or seasonal items out of sight. Over time, I realized that choosing furniture with a practical purpose makes a huge difference. It's about designing your home for the way you actually live, not just how it looks in pictures. By embracing this approach, I feel more relaxed in my home. There's a sense of calm when everything has its place, yet the space still feels cozy and welcoming. It's a small change that makes everyday life simpler and more enjoyable, and I love sharing these little tips with anyone who's trying to keep their home beautiful and functional. If you want to take your home organization even further, don't miss my next video, where I share 7 practical steps to create a clutter-free room. Organize your daily flow and assign a proper spot for every item. Truly useful tips you'll need. Now that we've explored the magic of furniture that hides your clutter, let's look at another simple trick that makes a huge difference in small spaces using the area under your bed for smart storage. One of my favorite tricks for maximizing space in a small home or apartment is to use the area under the bed for storage. When I first moved into my tiny studio, I remember staring at the empty space beneath my bed and thinking, what a wasted opportunity. That's when I started experimenting with different underbed storage solutions, and it completely changed the way I manage my belongings. I love using pull-out boxes, clear plastic bins, or even fabric storage bags because they are so easy to slide in and out. Being able to see what's inside without pulling everything out makes life so much simpler, especially on busy mornings when I'm rushing to get ready. I store seasonal clothes, extra bedding blankets, pillows, and even holiday decorations under the bed. It keeps things out of sight but still accessible when I need them. For my kids' room, it's a lifesaver. Those underbed boxes hold toys, extra sheets, and art supplies, keeping the room neat while teaching them the habit of storing items properly. What I love most about underbed storage is how it helps me stay organized without feeling overwhelmed. Deep cabinets and closets can be tricky because items get lost in the back and I end up wasting precious time searching. By keeping everything under the bed in clear labeled containers, I know exactly where each item is. It's such a simple principle, but it makes my home feel calmer, more functional, and surprisingly spacious. Over time, I've realized that even a small change like this can make a huge difference in daily life, turning a cluttered space into a peaceful, orderly home that everyone enjoys. Once you've mastered underbed storage, it's time to think upward. Don't forget about the walls. There's so much space above us that often goes unused, and it can be a game changer for keeping things organized. When I first started paying attention to the layout of my apartment, I realized that so much room was being wasted above our heads. Tall shelves, cabinets reaching the ceiling, and wall mounted racks can completely change how much you can store. I keep items that I rarely use, like oversized pots, holiday decorations, special books, or seasonal collections up high, where they're out of the way but still accessible when I need them. I'll admit I was a little nervous at first about reaching things on high shelves, but investing in a small folding step stool or a compact ladder made all the difference. Now I can safely access my storage without stretching dangerously or knocking items over. It's such a simple change, but it keeps my floor space clear, which instantly makes my home feel less cluttered and more serene. What I love about using vertical space is that it transforms a small area into something much more functional. For example, in my living room, tall shelving holds my cookbooks, extra blankets, and even a few decorative pieces, leaving the floor free for walking, play, and everyday living. In my kitchen, a wall-mounted rack holds large stock pots and seldom-used appliances, so countertops remain tidy. Over time, I've learned that being intentional with how high I store things not only improves organization but also reduces stress. It's amazing how much calmer a home feels when every item has a thoughtful place, even if it's high above the ground. And speaking of overlooked spaces, the backs of doors are another hidden gem. With just a few clever tools, these little areas can hold so many items without taking up any floor space. One of my favorite little tricks for maximizing storage in any home is to make use of the often overlooked space behind doors. It might seem like such a small area, but over the years, I've discovered that closet doors, bedroom doors, office doors, and even cabinet doors in the kitchen can all be transformed into practical storage solutions. At first, I didn't even think about using this space. And it's surprising how much clutter can accumulate in areas that feel out of sight, out of mind. I like to add pegboards, small wall-mounted shelves, hanging pockets, or adhesive hooks behind doors. These simple tools allow me to store hats, gloves, charging cords, and other small items that tend to get lost or pile up on counters. In my entryway, I have a hanging organizer behind the closet door for scarves and reusable shopping bags. And it's been a game changer. Not only does it keep these items easy to grab on busy mornings, but it also keeps the space looking neat and intentional. What I love most about utilizing the backs of doors is that it expands storage without taking up any additional floor space. It's perfect for small apartments or rooms where every inch counts. By using these hidden areas, I can keep my home functional and visually calm, even when I have a lot of little things to store. Over time, I've realized that it's these small, thoughtful tweaks that make the biggest difference in creating a home that feels organized, welcoming, and tailored to the way I actually live. Of course, it's not just about hidden storage. Creating convenient drop zones near entryways helps keep everyday essentials organized and saves you from the daily scramble. The simplest yet most effective ways I've learned to keep my home organized is by creating what I like to call drop zones. These are designated areas near your front door where everyday essentials, keys, wallets, mail, shoes, masks, and outdoor gear can be dropped as soon as you come home. When I first started doing this, I was amazed at how much stress it relieved. No more frantic searching for my keys or scrambling to find a mask before heading out. It's all right there, ready to grab. The key to a successful drop zone is convenience and simplicity. I avoid placing it in a bedroom or office because the whole point is to have quick access right when entering or leaving. I like to use small trays, baskets, wall-mounted racks, or simple boxes to corral items. The containers don't need to be fancy, they just need to make it easy to drop things in one place without thinking too much. For example, a small tray on a console table or a hanging basket near the door works perfectly for my daily essentials. Over time, I've realized that these small intentional zones make a huge difference in maintaining order. They create a natural flow in the home, reduce clutter in high-traffic areas, and make it easier to keep surfaces clear. The best part is that everyone in the household can adopt this habit. It's intuitive and requires almost no extra effort. By having a designated space for everyday items, your home feels calmer, more functional, and surprisingly tidy even when life gets busy. It's a small change that really makes daily life smoother and more enjoyable. While drop zones handle the practical items, open shelving lets you showcase the things you love. But it's important to use them wisely so your space feels curated rather than cluttered. Open shelving can be a wonderful way to showcase the things you love in your home, but only when used thoughtfully. I've always enjoyed seeing my favorite books, little vases, candles, and small decor pieces displayed neatly. It gives the space personality and warmth. But over time, I realized that if open shelves are overloaded or used for everyday practical items, they quickly make a room feel chaotic and cluttered. Through experience, I've learned the key is to strike a balance. Only display items that are visually pleasing and meaningful. Everyday items like kitchen gadgets, office supplies, or miscellaneous small household tools are better kept out of sight in closed cabinets, drawers, or storage boxes. This way, your shelves remain beautiful and organized, while your practical items are still easy to access but don't overwhelm the room. I also found it helps to limit the number of open shelves in one space. Even if everything is arranged nicely, too many open units can create a sense of busyness and visual clutter. Instead, I choose a few carefully curated shelves and rotate items occasionally, which keeps things fresh without feeling overwhelming. Using open shelving wisely not only elevates the aesthetic of your home, but also encourages you to be intentional about what you keep out in the open. It's a small change, but it makes your home feel lighter, calmer, and more welcoming, and it's something anyone can apply no matter the size of their space. And that brings me to one of the most important lessons I've learned. It's not about chasing Pinterest perfection. Organize for the real you, what works for your life, not what looks perfect in a photo. When it comes to keeping a home organized, I've learned the most important rule is to organize for the real you, not for some picture-perfect standard on social media. For years, I tried to mimic perfectly styled shelves or color-coded closets I saw online, but it never lasted. It felt forced, stressful, and honestly not reflective of how I actually live. The breakthrough came when I started focusing on what works for my daily habits. Choosing storage tools that match your lifestyle is key. For me, transparent bins, open-top boxes, and simple trays have been lifesavers. They make it easy to drop things in and find them again without fuss. I've stored everything from kitchen utensils to children's toys, craft supplies, and everyday papers in containers that are practical rather than pretty. The goal isn't perfection, it's accessibility and simplicity. Placement is equally important. Items you use every day should be within easy reach. I avoid putting things on high shelves or deep cabinets that require a stool or climbing to retrieve. For example, everyday kitchen tools, frequently used documents, or children's items should live where they can be grabbed without effort. I've also learned to minimize labels and overly detailed sorting systems if I don't have the habit of keeping them up. Sometimes less is more, and keeping things simple is what actually helps me maintain order. By organizing for my real self, I've created a home that feels manageable and stress-free. It's a space that supports my life instead of complicating it. And the best part, I can finally enjoy a tidy, functional home without feeling like I'm chasing someone else's ideal. Once you're organizing for yourself, small daily habits make it all stick. Spending just 5 to 10 minutes a day tidying specific areas keeps your home feeling fresh and under control. One of the simplest yet most effective ways I keep my home feeling fresh and organized is by developing small daily cleaning habits. I dedicate just 5 to 10 minutes each day to tidying a specific area. Sometimes it's my desk, other times the dining table, or even a quick sweep of the kitchen counters. It might seem like such a small effort, but over time, these little habits make a huge difference. I used to let clutter pile up during the week, thinking I'd tackle it all on the weekend. But by Friday, I often felt overwhelmed by how much there was to do, and it made the whole space feel chaotic. Now, by spending a few minutes each day on a targeted area, I prevent mess from accumulating. It's much easier to maintain order when it's done in small, manageable steps rather than in one stressful marathon session. These daily habits not only keep my home tidy, but they also create a sense of calm and control. I love walking into my kitchen after a busy day and seeing counters cleared or sitting at my desk without papers scattered everywhere. It's a small commitment that saves time, reduces stress, and helps me enjoy my space every single day. And finally, one of my favorite principles for long-term order, one in, one out. Letting go of things you no longer need ensures your home stays functional and clutter-free for good. Whenever I bring something new into my space, whether it's a piece of clothing, a kitchen gadget, or even a decorative item, I make a conscious effort to remove something else in return. At first, it felt a little strict, and I worried I might regret letting go of certain things. But over time, it became second nature, and I started to appreciate the freedom that comes with maintaining a balanced home. I remember when I first embraced this principle with my wardrobe. Each time I bought a new shirt or pair of shoes, I would pick one item to donate or recycle. Not only did this prevent my closet from overflowing, but it also made me more mindful of my purchases. I started choosing items that truly brought me joy or served a real purpose instead of accumulating things out of habit. The same rule works beautifully for other areas like kitchen tools, books, or home decor. It keeps surfaces and storage spaces manageable so I never feel overwhelmed by clutter. There's something incredibly satisfying about creating space for something new while consciously letting go of what no longer serves me. Over time, this small habit has helped me maintain a sense of order and calm in my home, and it's one of the easiest ways to ensure that tidiness lasts for the long term. In summary, these are the 9 strategies I personally use to keep my home organized, maximize storage, and create a fresh, airy atmosphere where every corner feels calm and inviting. From clever furniture choices to underbed storage, wall-mounted solutions, and simple daily habits, each tip has helped me make the most of my space while reducing stress and clutter. If you're looking to save time on tidying up and keep your belongings in order, these are the exact practices you can start applying today. They're practical, easy to implement, and designed to fit into your real daily life, not just Pinterest perfect ideals. To take your home organization a step further, you should check out my next video on essential steps for a clutter-free room flow placement and smart storage solutions. It's packed with actionable tips that make arranging your space effortless and enjoyable. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. It's full of strategies that can truly transform your daily life at home. And finally, if you found this video helpful, please give it a like, share it with friends and family who could use these tips, and subscribe for more practical home organization ideas. You deserve a living space that feels lighter, calmer, and more enjoyable every single day.